flat out. And these are his words, not mine. He says, I'm simply not going to allow you to destroy the effectiveness of this program. And that was it for me. Now, I try to reach the other side. I mean, you know, when Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses come to my door, I invite them in. Then I bolt the door behind them. And most cases, by the time that they've been there about a half an hour or so, they're looking for the door to exit. I rarely get them to come back, and if they do, they usually end up standing on the front porch, not particularly wanting to come in. They usually bring their minister or somebody with them. I know that what I'm doing has an effect on people. Here's a letter I received just not very long ago from a gentleman over the internet. He says this, Mr. McKenzie, I am so satisfied now knowing that people like you are on my side. I've been a Christian for many years until at a certain point I started discovering that I was following the wrong path. No one understood me, no matter how much I tried to convince them. But now you have given me enough evidence, and I am so happy that I discovered your site today. I will be glad to receive more highlights from your publication in your periodical. Lastly, I just want to let you know that one thing is certainly clear to me in this, and he has some big letters. God does not exist. Do you believe? Yes, I definitely believe you. There's no problem there. I find that the effectiveness of my program, and sometimes beyond what even I suspected could occur. Some people ask me, how can you attack God's book like this? It's not. It isn't a perfect book by any means, any way, shape, or form. Incidentally, there's a problem with the existence of God himself. Now, normally I don't go too much outside the Bible and discuss atheism. I find that the best way to handle that is when somebody comes up to me and starts talking about God, prove there's no, I say, you prove to me. I put the burden right back on his shoulder. You're talking to me about, prove it. I was on a radio show, talk show. You believe in God? My belief goes beyond that. I don't believe in anything that's supernatural. I don't believe in devils, witches, ghosts, goblins, spooks, boogie bears, gods, goddesses, you name it. If it's supernatural, Will I believe it? Sure. Give me some evidence. Give me some proof. But belief is worthless. I get so many people write to me and say, I believe that, or I think that, or it seems to me, or I've always thought. I don't care about all that. What evidence do you have? I mean, that's all just talk. It's words. You might ask some of your fundamentalist friends, they talking to you about God. Can he be the following? This is supposed to be an omnipotent being. Can he abolish himself and bring himself back into existence? Can he create an all-black white horse? Can he create something that's too heavy for him to lift? Can he make something that is itself and not itself simultaneously? Can he create a square circle? Can he create a two-sided triangle? Can he create something older than himself? Can he create a being stronger than himself? Can he create a being that's more intelligent than he is or faster than he is? Can he live past eternity? Can he count past infinity? Can he create a barrier or a wall that's too thick or heavy or hard for even him to penetrate? Can he sin? Can he create evil? Can he lie? Can he learn? Now, some Christians will try to pass these off as not questions of not great importance. I beg to differ. Those are extremely important. The reason they're important is because they go to the very definition of the being himself. Those are, to me, are critical because they show you can't even have the being. Because the very fact that you have this being, you create contradictions that are unsolvable. And I'm not just talking about a few, I gave quite a list. I might even throw in a little bit here on lately I've been listening to and debating some people in regards to whether or not how the world came about, the existence came about and so forth. And I've told them that most of the Christians will say there was a creation. I say, no. The very first sentence in the Bible is dynamite. If you acknowledge that sentence, you're going to make huge mistakes. Because what's it say? It says, in the beginning, God created. First, there was no beginning. Secondly, there's no evidence for God. And third, there was no creation. So under my cosmogony, you can't even fit a God in. There's no way to wedge him in sideways. But you get some of these atheists even, they'll sit there and say, they'll start debating the Big Bang Theory, and there was a creation, there was a start, and so forth. I wouldn't go down that road at all. That's, to me, a very bad policy. Okay, at any rate, let me summarize. If you delve into the Bible, you'll find it's a maze, a mass, a veritable labyrinth of contradictions, inconsistencies, inaccuracies, poor math, bad science, erroneous geography, false prophecies, immoral heroes, scatological comments, and a multitude of other problems too numerous to mention. It may be somebody's word, but it certainly isn't the perfect word of a perfect being. As I've often said on radio and elsewhere, the Bible has more holes in it than the back door screen. And you can see from all the above and what I've stated that those who support the Bible are in the same situation that was experienced by those in the Garden of Eden. After all, Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed the serpent, and the serpent didn't have a leg to stand on. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Before we get to Q&A, I'd like to encourage you to start around here an organization on radio, or actually on television, such as they have in Pennsylvania. And what I'm going to play is 3 short videotapes. The first, it's by, this group is, they sit, and about every month they sit before a TV camera and answer phone calls from anybody. And I would encourage you to start something like that here. That's a way to get out to the fundamentalists or the people who believe in the Bible very strongly. Okay, that pretty well covers, I guess we can open it up to Q&A now. Oh, don't all ask at once here. Yeah.
When you were looking at the Bible, did you focus on one version in particular, or did you look at a whole gamut of different translations?
That's a good question. Normally I focus and use King James, because that's what most Christians take as the word. That's the one that most of them rely on. And I have 14 different versions. And it's important to have many different versions, because one of the tricks that they pull when I bring up these problems, I'm going to give you some of the strategies of the other side. One of their favorite is, you're being too literal. I've already mentioned that. No, I'm not being too literal. I'm reading the book as it's, basically what I said. It says what it means what it says. Another one is, you're taking it out of context. How many times have I heard that? No, I'm not taking it out of context. Numbers, when one says 42 and the other one says 22, that's not a contextual problem. That's just a blatant fact that you've got a contradiction. You can't be both. There's no contextual, dilemma. Now, some of the problems I bring out, the people who defend the Bible have decided that a lot of the problems I'm mentioning, and people like me, I'm not the only one doing this by any means, the way to solve the problem is simply rewrite the script. Good example. What's the sixth commandment say? Thou shalt not kill. Well, if you read the more modern versions, they've changed it, thou shalt not murder. There's a big difference. All murders are killings, but not all killings are murders, unless you want to say soldiers and policemen and people like that. So to solve that problem, they've simply rewritten the script. That's dishonest. And probably the worst version for doing that's the New International Version. I wouldn't trust that no matter how desperate I was.